The infamous dinner between Trump, Kanye West, and neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes has been pretty big news. We talked about it a lot on this show, and it's been mentioned a lot by cable news outlets as of late, progressive outlets, of course. In fact, Fuentes' name has come up tons of times on CNN and MSNBC. Now, according to a G-Delt analysis of Internet Archive closed captioning data, he actually came up about 490 times for the past week on just CNN and MSNBC. Again, huge story. I mean, the former president of the United States meeting with a neo-Nazi and avowed anti-Semites. Wow, big news. But if you've been watching Fox News, well, then you probably know nothing about it because they barely even covered it. On Fox, Nick Fuentes has been mentioned roughly 9 times. So there was a couple of data graphs here. Let me show you the first one. So that just shows you the breakdown, how many times they've been mentioned on CNN, MSNBC, and that sad little graph in the middle. That is Fox News. Yeah. Not very much. Fuentes, his name has been mentioned in 39 of the 109 hours since November 25th on CNN News on Tuesday, and 52 of those hours on MSNBC. Usually he's mentioned more than once. On Fox, he's been mentioned in 4 hours. Okay. So, not very much. Not very much at all. Not on Fox. Now, you might think, okay, they could still talk about the story and not mention Fuentes as much because the story, to them, they could say it's more about Kanye. Okay, well, is that the case? Well, no, not really. Turns out Fox News doesn't really mention Kanye either, which is funny because they used to do glowing news reports of Kanye when he started supporting Donald Trump. Weird. But anyway, so now, on average, I'll show you the next chart here. On average, CNN and MSNBC are mentioning Ye 6 and 7 times as often as Fox News each hour, respectively. On Monday evening, this is prime time now. So here's a graph on that. Primetime. Discussions of Fuentes were common on primetime cable news shows, except, once again, on Fox News. Now, it's better because once they do actually cover it, here's the kind of coverage they give it.
And you know what? I just got to say this. This is why America hates the national media. 3 questions about Donald Trump meeting with Ye and whoever that white,
No, they want clicks on their social media. That's why
that is so irresponsible. Before they talked about the rail strike, before they talked about the border, before they did all this, they got to talk about Donald Trump. This is why we hate the national media.
That was Jason Chaffetz talking with Harris Faulkner. And he was pretty mad that reporters were daring to, ask Kevin McCarthy about Trump's meeting with a neo-Nazi. They by the way, he couldn't even choke out the words white supremacist. Oh, the white, no, put a cap on that. No, not going to admit it. Not going to say a goddamn thing. Like white, no, we're not going to. Anyway, why is he not at the border? Why is Biden not at the border? Because that's what the whole thing was about. So, yeah, that's why America hates the national media. No, this is why I hate Fox News. I think it's actually a pretty big deal. I think it's pretty newsworthy when the former president meets with neo-Nazis and anti-Semites, including one that is one of the biggest artists in the country who happens to be anti-Semitic. And by the way, when the president does not denounce those beliefs, remember, in none of the statements that Trump had put out did he say anything about, I denounce neo-Nazis and white nationalism, and I do not agree with Kanye's, rampant anti-Semitism And I don't agree with white supremacy. Instead, he's like, I didn't know Nick Fuentes, but he was very nice to me. Kanye was very nice to me, and I treated him very, very well. Fake news. But it's the fake news media that is against me. Really? Again, who Fuentes is a neo-Nazi. He wants an authoritarian religious state headed up by a dictator. Those are his own words summarized. And he's working with Kanye in order to, I believe, push the right wing further to the right. Which is funny because that insider strategy is a lot what, like what progressives were trying to do with the Democratic Party. To go into the party and push them to the left. Now, Fuentes has actually been trying to do this with the Republican Party. The difference is, of course, Republicans were already massively far right, but not enough, not fascist enough for Nick Fuentes. Now, the Democratic Party has always been center right since Bill Clinton on economic issues, and so they could use a push to the left. Whereas the Republican Party, they're already proto-fascist. They're nearly there. And Fuentes wants them to become full fascist, religious, authoritarian, and guess who wants to be that authoritarian? Donald Trump, which is why he tried to, remain as president on January 6th by not having Pence certify the election results. I think that's rather important, don't you? But Fox News, obviously, they don't think it's important. And the big question, of course, is why? Maybe they don't want to piss off their viewers, who are apparently pro-authoritarian, or at least enough for Fox News to believe that they're pro-authoritarian. Or maybe they just want to distract them with other things. Who knows? There's plenty of possibilities as to why. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, for whatever reason, they've effectively buried the story when it comes to their viewership. And once again, they're not telling their own viewers what's really going on. And that's sad. And so most Republicans are not going to know that Trump had met with and is totally fine with anti-Semites and neo-Nazis. I'm sure there has to be some Republican voters out there that are not cool with that don't think anti-Semites and neo-Nazis are good. But they'll never know. They'll never know what Trump had actually done because their media won't show it to them. What is Fox News afraid of?